Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Ordinary Critics. Today, we will be reviewing Crazy Rich Asians.
I want some. Can I just a little bit?
Get out of here. Hello again everyone, I am Isaac.
And I'm Carlos, and we're just two ordinary guys reviewing extraordinary movies.
And today we will be reviewing Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians!
It was really good. It was a lot of fun.
And we had a good time.
We had a blast. We had a good time.
Yeah.
So, but before we continue, there will be spoilers from here on out. So, go check out this movie, come back, watch our review, or
jump to the end, see our score. There's going to be a link right there in the comment section. Take you right to our grade.
Yeah, so here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Okay.
So
So we're gonna start with the plot of this movie. It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. The basic plot is like this girl who is in love with this guy. Basically, they go to meet his family in Singapore. But what she doesn't know is that this guy is actually crazy rich. His whole family is crazy rich, and she has no idea what she's getting into.
Right, so she gets there, and her way of living is just very different than what he's used to. Like, one of the things is, one of the lines, they're flying there, and she goes, "Your family's, like, rich." And he goes, "You know what? We're comfortable."
That's exactly what a crazy rich person would say.
So, it's just one of those things of her expectations are just blown out of the water.
Mm-hmm. She does say right before that, she says like, "Oh no, we're not first class, we're economy people."
Right, like, so, and then he's like, "Don't worry about it, I got this." And so, and then they get over there. It's your classic rom-com where the mom doesn't like the daughter, and so the daughter has to like win the mom's acceptance for what's going on.
Family's acceptance, but it's also like it's more than just the money. It also turns out that it's about culture.
Oh yeah.
They do this whole thing where you're Chinese and we're Chinese, but we are different because you grew up in America. Mm-hmm. And we grew up here, so your mentality is very different.
Yeah, but it was very cool to dive into that aspect of the movie, because it's very much like, okay, Oma needs to give her approval of you, and then the mom's approval, and then if he wants to marry you, he can. But it's really up to him.
Yeah.
But not really.
Yeah, so this whole thing about winning the acceptance through culture and proving that she's enough, not only to the family because of she's not looking for the money, she's not being a gold digger, but also because of she can fit in with the custom and do what's necessary for the family to not disgrace the family.
Right, because another big thing that they talk about is that Nick, the son, Nick Yeoh and Rachel Chu are the two main characters of the story. So Nick is like the golden child of this family, and so they're talking, and the parents are talking. Someone was talking. Some relatives were talking.
To each other. How happens
in
movies? People have lines, and someone was talking.
Some of the relatives were talking, and they're like, "Oh, Nick is untouchable. He'll be fine," but Rachel is not, and so everybody is going to just.
It wasn't the family. It was the best friend at the beach, in the boat. I remember the movie. He doesn't. Ha ha!
At the bachelor party?
Yeah, the bachelor party.
That's where it happened?
Yeah, that's where it happened. They sneak away, boat. She's untouchable. You're untouchable, but she's not.
You're right.
Yeah.
That was a reenactment. Apparently, I remember that. Yeah. It was Nick's brother.
Yeah.
So they were relatives. So ha! Long story short, it is a very happy ending. And it's a whole bunch of that rom-com stuff where Nick proposes and she says no.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later tries again.
And we meet her best friend too. That's ends up being her biggest support. Ends up being while she's in Singapore, her best friend Pik Ling, played by Awkwafina, ends up being her even though she's kind of crazy.
She's crazy. But it's within the realm. We'll talk about this a little later. But it's within the realm of the movie still.
Yeah. Nice. So it was a fun movie. We had a blast. It isn't life changing, but it was
still
cool.
good.
Yeah,
still good. So next up, we have the cast. I love this cast. It was
a great cast.
It was great.
And also, like, one of the biggest things about this movie is that it's one of the not one of the first. It's the most recent completely Asian cast produced by a Western, by Western film studios.
Yeah, which is huge.
So that was a huge thing. Like,
awesome.
the past one was in 2016. It was a Netflix produced film. It was actually Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I think it's the Hidden Sword. That's probably wrong. It's something about a sword.
They find it maybe.
Yeah, there's a sword somewhere. I don't know.
But this movie is huge for that group of people.
And honestly, yeah, and they picked their cast. I think the cast was amazing.
Spot on. So speaking of cast, we have Constance Wu as Rachel Chu.
We have Henry Golding as Nick Young.
We have Michelle Yeoh as the mom,
whom you know from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. She was flying, flipping, doing all sorts of like.
She's a badass.
It was amazing.
We have Awkwafina as Peekland, and then Ken Jeong as Peekland's dad, and he was just
honestly, we know Ken Jeong is a very specific type of comedy.
Yes,
right?
And we all know this.
He did not fit the rom-com comedy style.
Yeah, he was on a different. I felt like he was in a different movie completely.
Yeah, so he was like dancing, doing all these things, being very over the top, and being Ken Jeong, like what we know. Except that it didn't quite fit the tone. He was being an over the top dad, but it was just too much.
Right.
Like
it was too much. But other than that, the cast was.
Awkwafina was crazy, but she fit the comedy just right.
And just
Yeah, and Constance Wu, she played every bit right. Like
every
from
emotion,
the comedy to from the comedy to the drama to like every single the love scenes. Like honestly, and also I have to say they look beautiful on screen. Like they're pretty people.
I was not okay.
Yeah.
Just put it that way. But no, the cast was great. Next up, we have continuity and immersion. There was nothing that took me out of this film. I mean, there's like a cheesy like fireworks scene
at the very end.
And you're just like looking at it like.
But it's like an appropriate ending. It's crazy rich.
Like,
why not? Top of building.
I felt like they were CGI though, and you just shoot off your fireworks. Who cares?
Were they CGI? I don't think they were CGI.
Off the building?
Yeah.
I think they were.
Oh, we have to check that out then.
Okay, we'll have to check
anyway,
we'll
but it's. I thought it was. From what I've heard, somebody mentioned this to me. Someone that actually went to Singapore and said that what she loved about the movie was that it wasn't touristy. You saw locations from Singapore, like famous locations that people go to, tourists do go to all the time. But they didn't present them from a tourist, like, we are at the blah, 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 blah. No, it was just like offhand, like a person that actually lives there would visit those places. So I think if a person that has visited feels that way, I think they did very good with the immersion of like presenting the movie and the location from the eyes of a person that actually lives there.
Right, they weren't advertising Singapore.
They weren't advertising.
They were just like, this is where we are, we're going from location to location. That's not the important part of the story, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
So next up, we have sound, or the soundtrack.
Soundtrack.
I mean, there was nothing glaring, no big issues with me.
This movie is more about the story, 100%.
Absolutely.
So there's maybe little things here and there, but there's nothing that's gonna like blow your mind according to with the music. Besides the wedding scene. The wedding scene was pretty, and the music,
but it was gorgeous and like, but
I wouldn't be able to tell you a single song that I heard in this movie.
No clue. So there's that. And finally, we have cinematography. It was gorgeous. The whole movie was gorgeous.
Yeah, they're pretty people. They're all pretty people.
Shot beautifully.
I want to be that pretty.
Locations, and it's just like one of those things of like, okay, let's take the Beijing Olympics. Everything felt so like opening ceremony felt like so theatrical and operatic and very just drama filled over the top. That was this movie too. Like the big wedding scene that happens in the movie is just lots of money put into this.
There's
water that comes in like a river, and it's just the whole thing is gorgeous. The whole thing is gorgeous, well shot, well executed. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah, and also there's a very clever editing scene. I don't know the word of mouth going from they see someone, they see Rachel Chu and Nick Young together, and how word of mouth spreads, and they do it with this cartoonish kind of thing, and there's the word of mouth just pops from phone to phone, and it travels all the way to Singapore, and I thought it was a really clever way to put like how word of mouth spreads so fast, and then at the end of all that sequence, it has only been a couple of seconds.
Right, that person's walking out the door, and Nick gets a phone call from his mom being like, "Oh, so you're bringing Rachel?" And he's like, "How did you know that? I literally just talked about it." And it just
that fast. Yeah.
So. All right, so we're going to go into the report card for this movie.
Let's go.
So for plot, Carlos, what you got?
Got an 8.
I also have an 8. Cast?
9.
I have a 9. Continuity and immersion?
I'm gonna give it a 9 too.
I give it an 8. Soundtrack?
I'm gonna give it a 7. Nothing called to me.
I give it an 8. And then cinematography?
8.
And another 8. That is an 82. That is a B. That is a solid
B. It's not like Jello-like, not at all. It's just standing there. It's a B.
It is a very good movie.
B.
Go check it out.
It's not gonna change your life, but it is a great time.
It's a great story, and it's a good. Yeah, it's just a good movie.
Yeah.
So.
Past time. Bring a date.
Do it.
Hi, bro, Isaac.
I'm a great date. I'm a great date.
He never buys the popcorn. Anyway.
It's true. It's true. Carlos doesn't buy.
I would buy the popcorn.
I buy the Slurpee. It's icy.
Your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm an awful date apparently.
Yep.
According to this, I'm an awful date. Oh god. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Just a little update for you guys. We actually, as of the recording of this video, our whole channel just hit 1 million views total.
1 million!
So thank you on all of our videos. So thank you so much for supporting us and watching the stuff. I know a lot of you watch it for Steven's what's coming to Netflix and what's leaving Netflix, but we appreciate that you're stopping by and visiting our stuff too. Leave a comment below.
And tell us what you thought.
Did you like the movie? Yeah, just tell us what you thought about it. We love having conversations with these people. With you people.
Yeah.
Not these people. With you people.
With all the people.
All the people. But give us a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, because that's a thing. You need to know when we're on. Yeah, and just thank you so much for watching and supporting us. And as always,
stay ordinary. Asians.